Are you struggling with making time to practice your guitar? If that's the case, I want to help you out today by helping you set up your own practice space in your home so that you have a place to play consistently. By the end of this video, you should have no excuse for not playing guitar, and you should have a great space that you can practice your guitar, that you can do some recording, and potentially doing some videos as well. So I will cover all of those aspects of my current studio. The reason that you want to have a practice space is that you need to have a dedicated area so then everything is readily accessible and available, and you're not spending time moving equipment or moving chairs and tables and music stands around. By having a dedicated space, it'll make it a lot easier and you can save a lot of time by just being able to sit down and start playing. Now, I know not everybody is going to have the amount of space that I have here, but you could look at ways to set up something similar, but maybe on a smaller scale. So I'll talk about that as we go through different items that I included in my studio. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is instrument storage. I recommend two things for instrument storage: either a hook hanging on the wall, and you can see the guitar behind me hanging on the wall. And you can get the hooks for that type of, for a guitar, for a ukulele. You can get these for about $6 for 2 hooks. So that's pretty low cost, and I'll include a link to this item as well as all the other items I'll be talking about today in the description below. If you don't have wall space and that's just not convenient for you, then you can get a floor stand, and I looked at these on Amazon and they have some cheaper ones, anywhere from $11 to $25. So again, for a relatively low cost, you can get a solution that will help make your instrument available and accessible, because if you can see it on the wall or see it out, you're more apt to play it. And another thing, item that's free, and for me, I have a couch behind me, and I actually can put the instrument just on the couch. I can just in some way store it on the place that I'm sitting to play. So that could be another free option if you have a chair or something like that that is just going to be used for playing. The next thing I want to talk about is where you're going to sit to play. And so I have my couch behind me that I have set up, and that is a couch that I was no longer using in another part of the house. And so for me, I was able to repurpose this and just put it there in the corner. If you don't have a couch, then you could do something else, which would be some sort of a chair, and you can use a wood chair with a cushion. You could use an upholstered chair. And another thing, so I can share this chair that's an office chair that has arms that go up and down. So you could actually use something like that. It's easier to play guitar when you don't have the arms on there. And so that can be pretty handy. Or if you can see some office chairs don't have arms at all, that's a great solution, and it makes it super easy. You can also wheel it around and move it around. For me, I get these repurposed chairs that I've had from other places in the house. So again, like for me, the couch didn't cost anything, and my chair is just a common desk chair. The third thing that I think every practice area needs to have, and that's going to be a music stand. So I'll pull that into view here. And this is a pretty large and heavy music stand. This particular one was about $50 on Amazon, and I have the link below for that if you're interested. And I like to have the music stand. For me, I can keep the music, I can keep my capos organized, and also my tuners, because I'm constantly not placing them or forgetting where I put them. So being able to store that all together on the single stand. If you want a smaller, more portable stand, I have a smaller one that's you can get, and that's about $18 on Amazon. And while it's not a necessity, you don't have to have the music stands. It's nice to be able to have the music where you can adjust the height of it if you want to play standing up or sitting down, or different heights of chairs. And if that, you don't have to have that, but it's convenient. So you can also use, what I've used before is I have a stool that I'll put in front of the couch or a table, and you can just set the music on the table. So then you don't really have to have any music stand. but if you're really into playing guitar, it is kind of a nice to have. Moving on to the comfort for your area. So with the couch, I decided to go ahead and get cushions for that to make it more comfortable. And then I put like a throw across that as well to make it a little more cozy. The other thing that I did for this area from a comfort perspective is I wanted it to be kind of reflect my personality a bit. So I have some pictures on the walls. I repurposed those from other rooms in the house, or as you know, kids grow out of certain things. I was able to grab a few things from their old room and use that here. The one thing that I did buy was the Good Vibes sign. That was about $18 on Amazon. So again, I just kind of liked it. It was kind of fun, and it kind of gives a cozy feel. And then I also have the guitar chord chart, and that actually I got from the dollar store. So, you know, you can outfit your area, especially if you're going to repurpose other things that are no longer used in your home or other people are giving away, or you can go to Goodwill and pick up some little items that just kind of make your area a little bit more cozy. So all in for this area that I've kind of talked about is that I spent about $75 on the hooks for the wall, the music stand, and the neon sign, and everything else was repurposed. So just wanted to give you an example of how to do that. Let's move on to if you want a more elaborate area where you're going to be recording. Well, for recording, I have something that's the bare minimum for me, which is I have a Mac computer, and so I have that. I also have a computer stand to lift it off the ground, and then or lift it off the table. And then that was about, the stand is about $39, but again, not a necessity. You don't have to have it. Just for me, it's a little bit more comfortable. And I happen to have one left over around the house. Another thing that you'll need for a recording area is some sort of tabletop or desk. And the desk that I'm using here is actually, it's probably about 12 years old. It's a desk that has served many various purposes over time. And the most recent use was that it was a craft table. So there was actually a lot of paint and other things that I had to clean up. But I think this table was maybe $100 when I bought it 12 years ago. I took a look on Amazon, or not Amazon, on IKEA website, and they have one for about $149. I'll include the link below for that. But you could really use any table, you just really need something that's big enough to hold your laptop and not much else. And so keeping it really simple, you can use, I've used a shelf on like a bookshelf that's at an angle, and I can just put the laptop on one of the shelves. Yeah, don't overthink it, just something small. You can even use like an end table, could also be a solution where it's really small. And if you have a chair or a couch and you just want to put this end table next to that, that could serve as a great way to have your computer for recording. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is the microphone setup for recording. And I have a Blue Yeti, which I actually repurposed from another family member in the house that had it in their room. And I bought a boom arm, and the Blue Yeti, if you just want to buy one new, is about $99. This boom arm with the pop filter on it was about $49 on Amazon. And so for me personally, I didn't spend that much money overall on the equipment I needed for recording. It was about $80. And if you had to buy the mic and the stand, and you also wanted to get a desk, and you wanted to have a computer stand, all these things would probably be in the $350 range for you. So depending on what you have for your overall budget and what you can beg, borrow, or steal from, not steal, but maybe you can borrow or get items that people are no longer using. To the next topic, which is going to be the video recording, which I think is like level 3. So we talked about level 1, which is just the practice space. Level 2 is being able to record your audio, and level 3 is then the video. Now for the video, I have a stand that my phone is on, so I'm using my phone for recording, and then I have a stand that's adjustable up and down, and I use that for all of my videos. I think I got that stand for about $22, and it is a great deal. It's been really handy. I can take it outside and I can easily and quickly set it up and adjust it. So I highly recommend that. For your lighting, so one tip on lighting, so I actually have a window on one side of me, so I have light coming in from one side. Obviously, if I'm filming at night, I'm not going to have that benefit, but I try to record during the day. And then on the other side, I actually have a softbox light, which I'll show. And the softbox light is a light that we had in our home. During COVID, we were doing some recording from home, and so we had this light that had already been purchased, so I found it in the garage. It was gathering dust, and I was able to set that up and use it for my recording area. This light is about $100, $110 on Amazon, so not too overly expensive if you want just a simple light. Another light that I tried is one of these LED ring lights, and those are great unless you have glasses. So I found that I got too much reflection. It was reflecting into, and you can see it on the video, and I also found it distracting. So I ended up just not using that one, and those ring lights are maybe $30 at the most. And then lastly, I didn't really talk about this, or I hadn't really planned on talking about it, but I actually have a backlight over here in the corner, and it's just a desk light that I've pointed upwards, and I think I got that at IKEA. That was an item that I also repurposed. I think it's partly broken, but it does the job of at least getting the light to give you more depth in your videos. So that being said, so for me, for about $50, I was able to get my video area up and running. I would say the stand for the phone was probably the best money spent for sure. And then the other lights and things, if you're going to record outside, that's free because you won't need any lights. Or if I have a back patio type of area where there's an overhead light, and that gives pretty good light, so I can do recording even in the evening without too much problem. Then that pretty much wraps up everything that I would suggest for your entire studio. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe, and that way you can see the other videos that I have coming out. In the description below, I'm going to share all of the equipment that I've discussed in this video, as well as links to some of my other videos around guitar singing and songwriting. I hope that you enjoyed this. Thanks for supporting my channel, and I will see you next time.